Leon Senior starts his Premier League career with a bang as Chelsea smashed 2 past Brentford, from Leon Senior's elite in-game management to Robert Sanchez masterclass, and now the absolute madness of Jérémy Jacquet's transfer news. As far as the 5 things we learned from Chelsea 2, Brentford nil. But before we dive into this video, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. But if you have been following me for a while, you know jujus. Help your boy get to that 10k subscriber mark. Let's dive into it. We are back, and honestly, it feels like we can finally breathe again. Chelsea secure a massive 2-0 victory over Brentford at the Stamford Bridge. Let's be real, this was so much more than just 3 points. This was the dawn of the Leon Senior era. After the rollercoaster of Enzo Maresca's departure and a period of instability that had us checking the table with one eye closed, I think we finally saw a glimpse of a plan. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. With a clinical first half from João Pedro and Kopama doing what he does best from the penalty spot, we have officially recalibrated our sights on Europe. The vibe at Stamford Bridge have shifted, and that leads us directly into the first thing we learned from this new look Chelsea side. 1. A very strong debut lineup. For his first Premier League in charge, Leon Senior didn't come to play. He came to win. He signaled his intent by immediately selecting a very strong and experienced starting 11, welcoming back the big hitters to stabilize a ship that had been rocking for far too long. The most beautiful sight for us fans is seeing Reece James back at right back, and our talisman Kopama pulling the strings in that attacking midfield role. Both has been wrapped in cutting wool lately due to fitness concern, but Leon Senior knew he needed his leaders on the pitch to set the tone. We lined up in a structured 4-2-3-1, prioritizing technical security over the experimental rotation we have seen in the past. We went with a lineup of Robert Sanchez in goal, Reece James, Trevor Chalobah, Tosin Adrabayo, Marco Kurela in defense, a midfield of Moses Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, an attack of Pedro Neto, Kopama and Alejandro Garnacho, and João Pedro leading the line. Let's talk about the heart of the team, because Enzo Fernandez was absolutely phenomenal today. We finished with a 7.5 rating, and honestly, he was everywhere. 1 assist, 3 key passes, 88% accurate passes, 64 touches, 2 successful dribbles. Enzo Fernandez has now been directly involved in 5 goals in last 6 games across all competition, 3 goals, 2 assists. And then there is my general, Moses Caicedo. If Enzo was the architect, then Caicedo was the brick wall. We finished with a 7.3 rating, putting a defensive masterclass, 91% accurate passes, 60 touches, 8 defensive contribution, 2 tackles, 2 interception, 1 clearance, 1 shot block, 5 recoveries, 6 ground duel wins. Now I have to be honest with you, the performance tells a bit of a different story than the scoreline. If you look at the stats, we weren't exactly dominating in the way we used to. 46% ball possession, 6 shots to Brentford 15, 2 big chances, and an XG of 1.68 to Brentford 1.65. This performance doesn't scream total dominance, and Brentford will definitely feel they deserve more. But you know what? After the winter we had, honestly, I don't care. We are clinical, we are resilient, and we got over the line. Under Leon Senior, it feels like we traded pretty football with no point to gritty football with 3 points. And I'll take that every day of the week. And that brings me to the second thing we learned. And boy, did we ride our lucks. The anatomy of fine margins. If you only looked at the 2-0 scoreline, you would think we cruised through this one. But let's be real, this was a game of incredible fine margins. Brentford came into the Bridge unbeaten in 6 league outings. They played like a team with zero fear. There are moments where the pressure was so intense that I could barely watch, and Brentford squandered several glorious opportunities that could easily have turned this into a different conversation. This match turned on a specific high leverage moment where the football gods decided to wear blue. The first goal was pure chaos. Brentford tried to clear the line, but the ball ricochets off Enzo, fell perfectly for João Pedro, who didn't think twice. He just absolutely roofed it past Kelleher. Our Brazilian star was the spark we needed. He finished with a 7.5 rating, 1 goal, 2 shots, 1 on target, 28 touches. João Pedro for Chelsea, 15 goal contribution, 11 goals, 4 assists. No Chelsea player has scored more Premier League goals than João Pedro, 7 this season. And after that 26 minutes opener, we were living on the edge. Matthias Jessing clipped the post with a volley that had Sanchez beaten, and then Kevin Shade missed a one-on-one in the second half that he will be seeing in his nightmare. And boy, we survived by the skin of our teeth. The game was finally put to bed in the 78th minute thanks to Brentford's massive error. Kelleher took a heavy touch, substitute Liam Delap pounced on it. Kelleher brought him down and Reno stepped up. Cole Palmer stepped to the post, does what he does best. It wasn't Cole Palmer's best performance. He looked a little bit leggy, but Cole Palmer at 50% is better than most players at 100%. He finished with a 7.3 rating, 1 goal, 0 key passes, 0 accurate crosses, 89% accurate passes, 2 shots, 1 on target. It wasn't a masterclass of creativity, but it was enough. And that's the difference between mid-table instability and chasing the Champions League spot. Which leads me directly to the third thing we learned: impactful substitution and tactical adaptability. If the first half belongs to the starters, second half was a testament of Liam Senior's tactical in-game management. We have seen managers in the past frozen up when the pressure mounts, but Liam Senior recognized Brentford were starting to dominate possession and push for an equalizer. He didn't wait for us to concede. Instead, the coaching staff made 2 master-stroke decisions that completely altered the game momentum. First stop was the introduction of Leon Delap coming on for Joao Pedro to provide some forward verticality. While Joao Pedro provided the goal, Delap provided the grit. His high-intensity pressing was exactly what a tired Brentford backline didn't want to see. It wasn't a statistical masterclass, but his impact was undeniable. His relentless pressure directly forced Kelleher into the massive mistake that led to the match-deciding penalty. He finished with a 6.9 rating, 0 shots, 7 touches, a key impact of 1 penalty won. He didn't need the ball to change the game. He just needed his lungs and his work rate, and it was enough to get us over the line. Then, to protect the narrow lead, Senior turned to a familiar face. And Dos Santos replacing Garnacho might seem risky to some. Dos Santos, who excelled under Liam Senior previously at Strasbourg, knew the assignment perfectly. He was brought on to sit deep and show the defense during a period where we are suffering the most. His presence alongside Caicedo helped neutralize Brentford midfield rhythm, just as they were starting to find their groove. He finished with a 6.7 rating, 9 touches, 67% accurate passes, 3 defensive contributions, 1 tackle won, 1 interception, 1 clearance, 1 recovery, 1 ground duel won. It wasn't pretty and it wasn't about flair. It was about midfield protection. Santos did the dirty work, so we didn't have to endure a nervous breakdown in the final 10 minutes. Liam Senior showed today that he knows how to manage a game, not just the lineup. And that brings me directly to the fourth team we learned: the Robert Sanchez masterclass. If Joao Pedro gave us the lead, Robert Sanchez was the reason we kept it. He anchored this victory with what can only be described as a top-class goalkeeping display. While the attackers often get the headline, Sanchez was the silent hero today. His performance was a blend of elite shot stopping and total area command. Whether it was coming through a crowd of bodies or staring down a striker, he looked unbeatable. Finishing with a massive 8.6 rating, 6 saves, 0.60 goals prevented, 4 saves inside the box, 3 high claims. With this performance, Sanchez secured his 9th Premier League clean sheet of the season. That is a serious feat. It places him second in the Golden Glove race, trailing only David Raya, who has 11. With 9 clean sheets in 20 matches, that's a 45% shutout rate. Sanchez has officially become the most consistent performer in Chelsea's squad during this 2025-2026 campaign. He wasn't entirely alone. The defense in front of him put in a shift that kept the bees at bay. Trevor Chalobah was a rock, finishing with a 7.1 rating, 11 defensive contribution, 1 tackle, 1 interception, 8 clearance, 3 recoveries, 2 ground duel wins, 3 area duel won. And then we have to shout out to Tosin Adrabayo, who was a human magnet for the ball before coming off. He finished with a 7.3 rating in just 58 minutes, 15 defensive contribution, 3 interception, 13 clearance, 2 recoveries, 4 area duel won, 0 time dribbled past. Between Sanchez's crucial intervention, like the insane save from the Adrabayo deflection and the foot save to deny Shade's 1-on-1, and a backline that refuses to break, we turn the Stamford Bridge into a fortress. And finally, we get to the most important lesson of all, and it's the one that is going to exactly determine whether we are going to be playing Tuesday night or Thursday night come next season, and that is consistency. Let's put in the result into perspective, because it's been a long, cold winter for us. This victory marked Chelsea's first Premier League win since December 13, 2025, which coincidentally was also a 2-0 result right at the Stamford Bridge against Everton. In the 35 days between two wins, we have been through it all. We watched our league form fell off the cliff, dropping as low as 8th in the table while the instability cloud hung over the club. Before the kickoff today, the stake couldn't be higher than before. Brentford, we are sitting 5th with 33 points. And Chelsea, we are sitting 8th place with 31 points. By securing these 3 points, we didn't just halt a miserable winless streak. We leapfrog our way back into the conversation. This win proved that under Liam Senior, this team could finally grind out results even when the overall performance isn't firing at 100% yet. We have had enough moral victories or good performance that ended in draws or losses. For us to qualify for elite European competition, we don't need to be perfect every week. We just need to be consistent. Today was a massive step towards that goal, proving we can handle the pressure of a 6-pointer against a top 5 rival. But moving on from the highs of the 2-0 wins to the chaos of the transfer window, and I have to be honest, I'm genuinely disgusted. We have just stabilized the ship on the pitch, but off it, the recruitment strategy feels like it's drifting further away off the sea. Let's look at the latest reports on our pursuit of Rennes defender, Jérémy Jacquet, because the numbers being thrown around are nothing short of insulting to our intelligence as fans. According to Ben Jacobs, understand that Jérémy Jacquet has informed Rennes he would like to join Chelsea this winter. Rennes hadn't planned for a January exit and are hoping for a record sale, surpassing the 64 million euros they sold Jeremy Doku to Manchester City. Club-to-club talks ongoing, and Santi JFM reported Chelsea and Jérémy Jacquet has reached a contractual agreement. The SRFC wants to complete the biggest sale in the club's history. Rennes and the English club side continue negotiation for the 20-year-old defender, and I'm looking at these figures and honestly I'm struggling to make it make sense. We are talking about a whopping 64 million euros for a 20-year-old who hasn't accumulated 50 senior league appearances. And I ask the question, is this really the solution to our centre-back problem? Or is this another example of the BlueCo logic that has us chasing potential while ignoring the reality of the market? What makes this even a harder pill to swallow is what we just witnessed elsewhere in the league. We watched a high-quality, proven former academy graduates like McGahey move to City for a mere £20 million. McGahey, England international, Premier League proven, £20 million. Jérémy Jacquet, 20 years old, untested in England, 64 million euros. Now my question is, how do we justify that? It feels like we are overpaying for potentials while letting elite, ready-made players slip through our fingers for a fraction of that cost. And it's not like we don't have talents waiting in the wings. We have players like Aram and Salmino and Mamadou Sarr. We are stockpiling young defenders like they are trading cards. Yet we are prepared to break the bank for another one who hasn't even played 2 full seasons of top flight football. This pursuit perfectly highlights the problem we are facing under this ownership. Spending record-breaking fees on players who hasn't proved they can lead a Premier League defense. I want to see us succeed, and I want to support this new era under Liam Senior. This feels like we are being taken for a ride by Rennes because they know who pay the Chelsea tax. It's frustrating, it's confusing, and quite frankly, it's disgusting. That's my rant over for now. What do you think? Should we be spending £64 million on Jérémy Jacquet? Or would you rather see us trust the kids we already have? And with that said, that's the end of the video, my friends. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. You go be.